Nicely done.
Absolutely.
And I think it's pretty clear when he says beautiful, which one of the two of us he's talking about.
Oh, Dennis, that's so kind.
And are you sure? That would look good on my wall. I'm not allowed to touch that? What a beautiful space we're in. And it's called A Taste of Jazz 2023. But we got more than just a taste for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We have some world-class talent.
Absolutely.
And we're so thrilled that you are with us, because it's no good if people perform and there's nobody to watch them. So we're so happy to have you with us tonight, and know that your presence here tonight is making a difference in our community as well. I know you're all here to hear these wonderful jazz musicians, and we're going to do that in just a moment. But I did want to bring up Bishop Nathan Baxter, who I know many of you know, to tell us more about where the money that we are raising here tonight is going, why it is so vitally important that you are here. And by the way, as much as they are virtuosos and outstanding with musical instruments, I think you're going to find that this guy is an amazing spiritual leader for all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, absolutely. Bishop Baxter.
Yes, I'm smiling, but so many of you have asked where my wife is, and she's with our daughter who's had some significant surgery, and she's been with her for a while. And I was down for a few days, and they said to me, my wife and my daughter, if you stay, you'll be in the way. So I came home, and for weeks I've been sitting at home listening to what they said. If you stay, you'll be in the way. And I got the blues. And so I put a little piece together. They say if I stay,
All right now.
I'll be in the way.
All right.
So I guess I will stay out of the way. I'm here all week, folks. No. I want to use for a prayer. You know, St. Paul's has been very committed to music, sacred arts. And one of the great gifts that has been given to American unique music has been the gift of jazz. It is in the spirituals, in the gospels, in the blues, in the work field songs, in the spirituals, in the I love you, honey, of all of the beautiful music. And from that is this incredible art. It's not just about soul, it's art called jazz. But it encompasses all of those genres. And therefore, one of the commitments of St. Paul's is to try to keep alive as much as we can in our little local sphere the gift of that music that emerges from the experience of African Americans that has also now been picked up by many around the world as a gift for the soul. And so one of my favorite singers is Gregory Porter. And he wrote a song that I want to adapt to a prayer because it gets at what's important. He's been asked so many times to do popular music, but he said, no, my commitment is to jazz. And so listen to these lyrics as a prayer. I do not agree. This is not for me, O Lord. No musical genocide. I will not commit, nor will I submit to musical genocide, Lord. This is not for me. I won't let it be. No musical genocide. Give me a blues song. Tell the world what's wrong. Give me a gospel singer giving those messages of love. Whoa, and the soul man with your heart in the palm of his hand, singing his stories of love and pain. No, I will not agree. Amen.
Amen.
Bishop Baxter, nice job on the harmonica, by the way.
Who knew we were getting a 2-for-1 special with the bishop?
Yes. Joel Martin, our first performer, who's going to do a piano virtuoso for us. I guess he met Chris in Seattle, he tells me. And Chris is like, you got to come to Harrisburg, because I'm sure when you're meeting great pianists in Seattle, you're saying he's thinking, I got to go to Harrisburg. But he's based in Norwalk, Connecticut. He's a pianist, he's a producer, he's a composer, he's an arranger. He's collaborated with and or written music for Grammy Award winners Alan Menken, Kathleen Battle, Fergie of the Black Eyed Peas, who you may have heard of, Brooklyn Youth Chorus, cellist Eugene Friesen, Paul Winter Consort, and Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Jamo of the Allman Brothers, among many luminaries.
I'm the creator of Jazzical, a marriage of classical and jazz, but it's changed so much now. Now it's just music, and you apply everything that you learned. For me, it's over 50 years of learning. I started off as a classical pianist, and then when I was in my teens, I did many a thing because my father was the band director at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. So when I wasn't in school, I was in the marching band and the stage band, the concert band. And when I was doing all of that, I was traveling to New York to do records for Mercury Records, which became Polygram. And then it just kind of expanded from that point. Then I went back to classical music. Stevie Wonder called and kind of lured me back. Then Jessie Norman called and lured me back to classical, except that she wanted a whole lot more than just classical. She wanted the full thing. And then when I met Kathleen Battle 12 years ago, the operatic soprano, one of the greatest singers of all time, she said, I don't want a classical pianist. I want a guy who's going to play. She says, we've got to hit it and quit it when we walk out on stage. And so along with all that came about 500 records, and it just goes on and on and on. Very lucky.
Wow, that's very impressive. And 3.5 years ago, his musical journey crossed paths with Armenia. On March 10th, 2022, Joel released his 9th CD, Jazzical Komitas, Passion of Fire, paying homage to Armenia's cultural and artistic icon, Komitas Vartabed. This acclaimed music has been recreated in Joel Martin's trademark jazzical style for a new global audience, with a world tour being planned in support of this project, as well as a national campaign to win the Grammy in 2024. Please welcome Joel Martin.
I'm originally from North Carolina, Raleigh. My father's a Baptist minister and an instructor for colleges, high schools, middle schools. But I've traveled all over the world and primarily stayed in basically New England. But the world is my musical oyster, and that's where I go. Wherever the music tells me to go, that's where I go. Sting, Kathleen Battle, Disney composer Alan Menken. I spent many years with him. The Allman Brothers with Jamo. I even did some work with Fergie of the Black Eyed Peas. And now I'm going to be working with an Armenian pop star named Rosalind, who she's opening on tour right now for Ed Sheeran. That's how big she's going to be. And she saw one of my Jazzable concerts in LA, and she was crying the whole time. And I thought, oh no, she doesn't like my music. And then she came back and she said, oh, your music took me to a whole other level. It makes me want to go back to Armenia, but I can't. And I said, well, you can go anywhere you want. You're in LA. What do you have, like a record deal? And she said, well, actually, I do have a record deal with Sony. So that's my next project. Thank you very much. You're too kind. It's more than just jazz. I hear jazz everywhere. It doesn't matter what I'm playing. It only matters that music is embodied in jazz and classical and world music. It's everywhere. You can't get around this. So don't try to fight it. I gave up 30 years ago. I've got more stuff. I'm just kind of getting warmed up here. So let's go back to the keys and let's get rolling. I only know that we have 45 minutes, which means, in the words of Kathleen Battle, we have to hit it and quit it. So, do we have time for one more? Okay. Thank you all. I myself can go on for hours and never repeat the same thing. You've heard some rather interesting pieces. Some of that is from Armenia. You know, Armenians and Black people, we have a whole lot in common. If we can just get past the language, this music speaks to me, and I hope it speaks to you. This is called the Soldier Song.
I definitely think we could do a little better than that for that amazing performance.
Joel Martin, ladies and gentlemen. Joel, thank you so much.
A little bit about Mr. Tim Warfield, saxophonist, recording artist, and educator. Yes, that's good. See what he's doing? Yeah. Do that. Yay!
Kind of a local guy.
Yeah.
My name is Tim Warfield. I'm a saxophonist from the central Pennsylvania area. I've traveled internationally and have recorded quite a bit without getting involved in too much hubris. I was here tonight with my students and another faculty member. We're from Temple University, and it was just a wonderful opportunity to perform for everyone tonight. It's this event.
Tim Warfield Jr., a native of York, Pennsylvania, began studying the alto saxophone at the age of 9. Yes.
Wow.
He switched to tenor sax during his first year at William Penn Senior High School, where he participated in various musical ensembles, winning many jazz soloist awards, including second out of 40 competitors at the Montreal Music Festival in Canada. Wow. After high school, Warfield attended Howard University in Washington, and HBCU, Washington, D.C. for 2 years before leaving to lead and co-lead groups in central Pennsylvania and Baltimore, Washington areas. In 1990, he was chosen to be a member of the trumpeter and CBS Sony recording artist Marlon Jordan's quintet, of which he remained a member for 3 years.
Now, he has about a 17-page bio. We're going to jump ahead. Just trust us. He's very accomplished.
He's amazing.
He serves as a board member and artistic director for the Central Pennsylvania Friends of Jazz. He's currently an artist in residence at Messiah College in Grantham. In May of 2018, he was nominated by Governor Tom Wolf and inducted by the State Senate as a newly appointed member of the Pennsylvania Council for the Arts. On July, that's worth an applause.
That's amazing.
On July 1st, 2018, he earned the position of assistant professor and coordinator of the Jazz Masters of Music graduate program at Temple University in Philadelphia. Tim's latest recording, Jazzland, released on the Crisscross Jazz label in 2018, features trumpeter Terrell Stafford, organist Pat Bianchi, drummer Byron Landam, and percussionist Daniel Sedonic. Tim Warfield, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to introduce who he has with us tonight, and I can assure you, you are about to be amazed. Thanks so much for being with us, Tim Warfield.
Music is one of the oldest rituals of commune we have, along with things like storytelling and prayer, breaking bread. So the opportunity to be able to do this is really important because it's very much, for me, certainly has changed into a strongly spiritual endeavor. So it's an honor, again, to perform for you tonight. And I tried to put something special together within the idea of that spirit by bringing some students from Temple University, as well as some faculty from Temple University. From São Paulo, Brazil, we have João Bueno. The thing he said to me when we played the next week together, he and I, he said, man, I thoroughly enjoyed playing with her. She had so much joy. And so, if you're going to play, and that was for you, some of you may know who that is. That's Steve Mishi, who's a bass player from the area. So, you can give it up for Steve for sure. He's an amazing bass player. So, please give it up for Maria Marmaru. When I started playing in Philadelphia, my father's from West Philadelphia, so I used to hear stories about him sneaking in jazz clubs. He'd put eyebrow pencil on his lip. He used to wear caps, and he'd sit in the back, very back, checking out Coltrane, John Coltrane,
go see Miles, Thelonious Monk. So he used to tell me all these stories. You can imagine me as a little kid looking up to him. He would tell me all of these stories, right? So when I got an opportunity to come to Philadelphia, this is one of the first people I met at a club called Ortlieb's Jazz House, which ended up being yes, give it up for Ortlieb's, because Ortlieb's is a special place. And I don't know if you know or have heard of an organist. She's pretty amazing. She's no longer living, but was a special person to me. I had an opportunity to not only perform with her, but be not only her last tenor player, but her last recorded tenor player, and her name is Shirley Scott. And so let's give it up for Shirley. My opportunity to be in Philly kind of went through her, and I met wonderful people like this gentleman here. So please give a round of applause for Mr. Mike Boone. One last thing I have to say. It's tough following Joel Martin, so it's amazing. So again, it's an honor to be on the same stage as with you. You sounded beautiful, really sounded beautiful. I'm from York, Pennsylvania. I've been touring and performing for a while. I'm on about 80 recordings. Dizzy Gillespie, Shirley Scott, Isaac Hayes, Donald Byrd, a whole bunch of people, but I just can't remember everybody off the top of my head. Jimmy Smith. I've been very blessed to perform with a lot of people. I currently perform with a wonderful trumpeter who's my best friend, and he runs the music department, the jazz studies, as well as I think the classical winds at Temple University. His name is Terrell Stafford. Currently I perform with him. my mother, she's a school teacher, well, retired now, but she also could play the piano. My dad could play the piano too, but my mom could play the piano better than my dad. My dad knew how to play like 5 monk tunes, so he would always play these 5 Thelonious Monk tunes. But my mom, I found out later, she actually used to get called by a lot of people to play, but my mom played by ear, so it was kind of weird because she played so proficiently to play by ear. I used to test her, like, you know this song, but she would show me more songs than I knew. So she's one of those people that got me listening to the popular standard and understanding the significance of the Great American Songbook and how intelligently constructed the music was. And I kind of use it now when I teach. I tell my students that music wasn't really written for jazz. It was embraced by jazz. It was written for the voice. So if you can imagine, and everybody knows George Gershwin was king, right? He was the king of it all. So all the other writers were like, I need to write as good as George Gershwin. And so everybody was really focused on being able to write strong melodies. So I tell my students, if you want to learn how to be lyrical, then you need to learn music from the Great American Songbook, because the energy that was focused was all on trying to be as lyrical as possible, so that you would get called back to bring more songs for shows. So this is one of those songs that I learned, actually provoked by Shirley Scott, who used to say, Tim, there are a lot of gems. There are a lot of beautiful gems. Go find them and share them with people.
We called it a taste of jazz, but it was about a 3-course meal, in my opinion.
I agree.
Nicely done. Thank you so much.
Y'all are amazing.
All right, do we have winners to announce here? And then we can allow these good people to go along their way.
It has been a wonderful evening experiencing this. Would you not agree with that?
Yeah.
It is wonderful to see you all here giving to such a great cause, number one, and to enjoy this evening, number two. When folks tell you that there's nothing to do in Harrisburg, I want you to tell them that you went to one of the best jazz performances we've had here in a long time, right here at the Susquehanna Museum. Shout out to Allison and staff of this museum for putting on this wonderful, hosting this wonderful night and opening up this space. If you haven't checked out the Susquehanna Art Museum on a regular day, you should come and avail yourselves of the exhibit around us and also the exhibits on the first floor as well. There is so much to see. And I also want to give a shout out to Allison because the Young Professionals of Color, we hosted a Juneteenth event here in June, and we had 283 people come through that night. And it was probably one of the funnest, hippest nights that the museum has seen. So we want you to join us for that. We'll probably do it again. So join us for another arts night coming up.
Thank you so much, because that's the first time someone said hip and looked at me in a long,
there
long
you go.
time. So thank you.
And you can still give to the church through that QR code. I just did it myself. So please, if you didn't win a silent auction item, it is not too late to give. Give. Your donations go to great causes that help our whole community. So please give. I hope you enjoyed this part of the evening. Is there anything else that we want to say?
That's it. Just thank you all very much for being here. It was a very special moment. Great evening, wonderful music, good camaraderie. Really appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you guys, and have a great night.